I am live. We are live. Okay. Just gonna wait for a while and wait for some people to show up. Um, just gonna wait for a while. Hold on, guys. A lot's going on. Jessica Fletcher has subscribed. Something that on a group called Yep I Like Wrestling, and also they have their own YouTube channel, which I would definitely recommend that you guys would watch. You guys will watch. Okay, let's wait. We're waiting. While we wait, let's get this camera started because I am actually charging my phone, and my charger wants to be a douchebag right now. So, trying to charge. Okay. Okay, we got our first like. We got our first person watching this. Our live review of WWE Evolution. We got two people now watching. Let me start off by saying welcome all who is joining me for this live review. Gaming with JT, what's up? As promised, you said you were gonna come, so I appreciate that. Oh man, WWE Evolution, the first women's pay per view, all women's pay per view. I actually enjoyed the show tonight, guys. I'm not going to lie. I actually enjoyed bit by bit. I enjoyed every match except for a few. One being the NXT Women's Championship because, well, the match was okay, but it just had an unnecessary finish, and I'll talk about that later on. And also that god awful. Okay, Malcolm, stop, don't be a hypocrite. Even though don't get it, even that god Vince McMahon's ego having Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey in the show. Okay, Malcolm, calm down, Ghoulie, calm down. Woosah. Okay, even though that match it was still undeserving. I don't know why the SmackDown Women's Championship match was not the freaking main event, and it was honestly best match of the night as far as I can tell. It was like the best match, like match of the night, hands down. But like I said earlier on this YouTube page earlier, I was on a group basically called Yep I Like Wrestling, which they have their own YouTube channel. Look them up, subscribe to them. I think I've been in the group for about like maybe a year now. And I got to say, there's a lot of interesting characters on there who love wrestling like anybody else would do. I mean, hey, I'd rather be weird than normal. But in WWE Evolution, the first women's pay per view, I overall liked it. It's a recommendation. It is a historic meant for the women. And I'm gonna say this, and you can get mad at this or agree with this or whatever. The women of WWE from the past, the present, and the future, even if you didn't like the show or you enjoyed the show, you have to give them props because they put on one hell of a show. And Jessica Fletcher said, I love that group. It is. I'm starting to love it. I need to start literally posting there more often because, oh my God. Because actually, if you actually were on the group on Facebook earlier, that little rant that I had about Vince McMahon and Gaming with JT say, I'm going to say the women's wrestling this year did better than the men this year. Yeah, yeah, I will say that. I mean, well, I wouldn't. Well, let's just say it's been the best pay per view. Probably maybe the top. I want to say maybe the top five this year. Probably maybe five, probably one of the top five pay-per-views this year. And you know what? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Trish Stratus and Lita versus Mickey James and Alicia Fox. And even though that Alicia botched a little bit, botched earlier, but you know what? I don't take the botches. I just don't care for the botches. It's wrestling. They're human. We all make mistakes. They're only human. And even though a botch can lead to a serious injury, oh, we'll talk about Sasha's in a minute. But yeah, the first match, and also for actually first touch though, I love the fact how they had Lillian Garcia did ring announce for, I think, for that match in the Battle Royal. I actually enjoyed that. Also, I don't know about you guys, but that opening little rock concert or whatever that they had, I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it, but I can see where they were going forward with it, but it is what it is. But let's just start off with the first match. The tag team match. We all know that Alexa Bliss was injured, so they had her become a manager and had Alicia Fox, come in because of course she's a part of the a little bit of a thing with her and Mickey James, and that match, it was like a nostalgia. If you were in like the Attitude Era, it felt like nostalgia. Trish Stratus, Lita, it was really good, and I actually did like the ending with the moonsault, and then also Trish hitting the chick kick on Mickey James. 1, 2, 3. Lita and Trish Stratus got the pinfall victory over that. And to be honest, on my picks and predictions, I only got one match wrong, and that was the NXT Women's Championship. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Next, I think was it 20 or was it 21? I don't really remember the number. I want to say, maybe let's say 20. A 20 women's battle royal, and I gotta say it was entertaining. It was very entertaining. I love the fact that the Iconics got eliminated first, just literally bashing the women in the past. You had Kelly, you had Maria, you had Alundra Blaze, you had Michelle McCool, and you had Ivory. And I actually like that they eliminated first, and it did look like that. And it did look like that Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville were, teaming. They were basically teaming. They eliminated most of the nostalgia from like Tori Wilson. They eliminated most of the old school wrestlers. Molly Holly, and also pretty much until Mandy Rose basically pushed Sonya Deville off the apron, which I kind of liked. I also like the fact that when I think Lana went too early for it, when Tamina and Nia Jax were in the center of the ring, I think Lana went too early. She was supposed to tell him stop, and it's Lana Day, but instead they just went on a rant, like a rampage, just basically just headbutted, pushed down all the other women that was left in the ring, and then you had that little segment between Samoan, and then Lana came back to do that spot again, saying, "Stop fighting! It's Lana Day!" Oh my God, that was funny. That was funny, very funny. And also, you guys have been also commenting. So let me go back here. Gaming with JT, you said, "Yo, I think I know who won that battle royal. I think Nia Jax." And yes, Nia Jax did won. And you know what? I'm gonna say this, and I mean this. I love Nia Jax. Don't get me wrong. Nia is bae. Nia is bae. I don't know, something about Nia that I just like, and I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's the personality. Probably the personality, because she looked so calm and probably chilled in real life. And I don't know, like I would love to chill with Nia Jax. And even though, like I said, I love Nia Jax, but I believe that Ember Moon should have won this. Even though I predicted Nia and Ember and also Asuka, and I also like that Ember Moon eliminated Asuka, and Ember had that emotion like, holy crap, I finally beat Asuka. I finally eliminated her in something. I actually like that spot. And I literally think that Ember should have won. I mean, Ember Moon is, I like Ember Moon. I liked her in NXT. I still believe that she should have been the one to beat Charlotte, to be not Charlotte, should have been the one to beat Asuka in NXT. But no, they didn't do it, and then they had this big long, streak, and she lose to Charlotte at WrestleMania, and I still believe that she should have went heel, but that's just me. I think Asuka would do better as a heel than she is a babyface. Also, more comments going in, guys. Sorry, guys. Ah, Jessica, you said they are annoying. I wish the icons would go away. I will say this about the iconics. Granted, yes, they are annoying, and they remind me way too much. And I know a lot of you will probably kill me with this. I actually think they remind me too much of Lay Cool. And remember how Lay Cool could sometimes be annoying, but then it always has a greater end when they always get embarrassed or lose a match or hell, even lose that Butterfly Divas title. But the Iconics, I got nothing against Peyton Royce and Billy Kay, but oh, I do not like it when they're on the mic. Oh my God, they are bad. They are like bad on the mic, very bad on the mic. I can see why fans like them, but I mean, they're okay wrestling wise, but when they do a promo, God, I just think of Lay Cool, and I just think of how annoying Lay Cool was, even though Lay Cool was over, and they had a good rivalry with Mickey James and whatnot in the past, but I don't want to be reminded of that, guys. I really don't want to be reminded of Lay Cool. Nothing against Michelle McCool and Layla L, because I love both divas. Don't get me wrong, love both women, but no, the Iconics just remind me too much of them, and I don't think we need another that. Now that would have been cool for Evolution. Lay Cool versus the Iconics. That would have been cool. Also, let me look at more in the comments. Jessica, you said you agree. Ember keeps getting screwed. Here's my thing. Ember should have never been on Raw. Should have never went to Raw. They should have never put her on Raw. They should have put her on SmackDown and probably put Asuka on Raw. I mean, I would love to see Asuka versus Ronda Rousey. Ember Moon, I would love to see if they were to do a trade, I would love to see Ember Moon versus Becky Lynch. That I would love to see. And also gaming with JT. You said the green Ember Moon shouldn't have. Yes, Ember Moon should have won. So, but overall, the Battle Royal was entertaining. I liked it. And I believe next was the Mae Young Classic, I believe. I am going to butcher this name like I butchered it in my picks and predictions. Is it Iro? Is it Iro Shira or Shira? I don't know. I'm not good with names, guys. I'm not. I'm only human. And she took on against Toni Storm. This match was good, but there was only one little problem, and that was time. They did not have enough time for this. I think the match only lasted for about maybe, I want to say 8 to 10 minutes at best. Why so short? If it's the Mae Young Classic and it's the Mae Young Finals, why wasn't it 15 minutes? Why wasn't it 16 minutes? I mean, I'm happy for Toni Storm, who I also got right. Happy for her, 22 years old, and won the thing. She's gonna be a huge star in WWE if WWE plays their cards right. I can see her being NXT Women's Champion. I can see that, but I don't know why and I mean this, I don't know why that match was so short. It was a good match. Don't get me wrong, but it just didn't have enough time. There was no time. So, people in the chat, what do you think about the match? Overall, it was a good match. I just think there was not enough time given for this match. There was not enough time. Facebook's going off. Yeah, I don't. Not enough time. It was a good match, but still not enough time. Congratulations to Tony Storm. Um, should have won, and happy for her. What match? Game of JT. What match? Yeah, it was the Mae Young Classic. Remember the Mae Young Classic? They promoted that match, the finals in the Mae Young Classic. It was Tony Storm versus. God, I'm so bad with names. Iro, Iro, Shiri. Oh God, I'm so bad with names. But yeah, it was a good match. It was just that there was not enough time. It felt like it was short. It felt like a 10 minute, like a 8 to 10 minute match, and it really shouldn't have been. If it's a Mae Young Classic, I think it should have been like, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes. And Joel, brother Joel, I knew you would come. Match was really good. It's good for what we got. I agree that it could have been longer, but that's also taking time away from Becky and Charlotte. Oh man, we'll get to that match. We will get to that match soon. Also, okay, after that match, I believe it the Riot Squad versus Bailey, Natalia, and Sasha Banks. Again, here's another match that was so damn good. And then, oh God, we must everybody on Yep I Like Wrestling, especially the ones who's been on that page the longest, got on Sasha, and they got on Sasha hard. She did a botch a very botch that she could have literally injured herself. Like literally injured herself. And my God, it was bad. You can look at the pay-per-view again and you can see what I'm talking about. It was bad. But overall, other than that, that six women's tag team match was pretty good. I like the fact how Ruby, Liv, and Ruby, Liv, and Sarah were just literally giving it to Sasha. They were just giving it to Sasha. And I like the spot where Bailey, earlier, because Bailey took a hell of a bump. I think she was chasing after Ruby, and I think she was on the corner of the ring post, and then I think it was Liv who kicks Bailey right in the abdomen, and then Bailey lands abdomen first to the ring post. That was a sick spot. Kudos to Bailey. But yeah, later on in the match, Bailey sees Sasha getting beat the hell down, like literally beaten the hell down. Kudos to Sasha for taking that beating. You have Bailey basically crawling on, onto Sasha and basically taking the blow. And as soon as I think it was Ruby taking the pin and Sasha kicked out. I also love the part in that match where Natalia did a double sharpshooter on Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott. I actually love that spot. I mean, the whole ending. I actually like the ending. I like the beginning of the match. It looked like the baby faces were controlling. And then in the middle of the match, you had the Riot Squad just basically controlling that match. And then you also had that spot ending right there, especially at the end where Sasha pays tribute to Eddie Guerrero. Bailey pays tribute to Macho Man Randy Savage, which was a really nice touch. I really like that. I really like that, guys. I'm low key serious. Watch the six women's tag team match. It was actually a really good match. A very fine damn good match. I think that was our fourth match. And now we get to the fifth match, which is the NXT Women's Championship match. Oh boy. This match was getting good. It was getting really good to the point of like really good. Really good spot. But here's the part that really I didn't like. And it was to the ending. Of course they have, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. They have, their friends, and of course they have, the two MMA chicks. I don't know their names. And they were in the bear on the barricade, and they attacked Kyrie Sane. I'm like, oh, okay. One of them attacks Kyrie, pulls Kyrie's hair, and Kyrie backhands her, and then another one just comes through the crowd and just literally I think it was the same chick. She did the yeah, pulled Kyrie down, and Kyrie still fought that woman off. And then there came another woman who kicked Kyrie Sane in the head, and then you have Shayna Baszler putting in on like the Kimura lock or whatever submission hold it is. It reminds me a lot of the Kimura lock. And you have Kyrie Sane passing out. And there, we get a new NXT Women's Champion. Why? There was no need to introduce, if you're going to introduce new talent like that, why not do it after the match? Why you have to do it during the match? It just really took away from like the storyline that Shayna Baszler and Kyrie Sane were doing. Why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? And the way how it ended, it was like, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking on how they were booking that, but I don't know. Maybe because I think the next NXT pay per view is War Games, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm assuming we might get a six women's tag team match. Who would join Kyrie Sane? Maybe Dakota Kai, and maybe that other chick, Ori, or I don't know. But yeah, guys, in the chat, let me know. Did you didn't like the NXT? I mean, it was okay. It's just that ending was very unnecessary. Why? All right, let me take a break here and look up the chat. Gaming with JT, you said, "Yo, what is this? Yep, I like wrestling. Can you send it to me? But tell me what they have a YouTuber. Yes, it is a YouTube account, and also if you have a Facebook account, like put in "Yep, I like wrestling." You cannot miss it. It's and I would recommend you liking it because you will love it. Joel, you too, because I know you have a Facebook. Um, Joel says, "I love how WB is trying to make us forget about when Ruby couldn't get over the barricade." Yes, they tried to make it seem like she couldn't get over the barricade. Gaming with JT said Eddie Guerrero and Macho Man Randy Savage was two of my favorite wrestlers growing up. My favorite wrestler was Eddie Guerrero growing up. Joel said this match was mediocre at points, but very good towards the end. And Gaming with JT said it sounds like she two women who jumped her. I think they're going to make a heel stable. Yeah, they are going to make a heel stable. There's no if answer, but they are. What's next? We had that. Oh, next is here's where I raged hard on, guys. You know what? This is what I said in the group chat that I was in. I said, F. Vince McMahon, his ego is so unbelievable that he believed he wouldn't give SmackDown a chance. He won't give SmackDown a chance. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair have worked their hardest. They've worked their hardest. They acted, they've choreographed it. They've done everything in their power to make that rivalry the best it's been. This rivalry has been going on through SummerSlam. And match after match after match. They get good, they get great. Hell, they even get to fantastic like the one here tonight. but it's not the main event. Oh, it has to be Raw. It has to be Ronda Rousey. It has to be um Nikki Bella because Ronda draws ratings and Nikki Bella has that god awful Bella's TV show. I don't even watch it. Jesus Christ. I literally flipped bricks when the SmackDown Women's Championship match was not the main event. You mean to tell me that the writing, the the week after week, segment after segment, story after story, that these two women, we love Becky Lynch. We love Charlotte Flair. Well, the fans don't like Charlotte Flair. I mean, they respect Charlotte, they like Charlotte, but they love Becky more. And this match wasn't the main event. Vince, this is why I would love because that crown jewel is this Friday, and trust me on this, there's going to be some backlash. You mark my words, there will be some backlash from government, some WWE's, some merchandise or some advertisements that they have sell. There will be some backlash, and I wish the following companies would strike while the iron is hot: Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Impact Wrestling. Hell, even freaking Lucha Underground. Strike while the iron is hot, because once Vince loses in the ratings and another wrestling company comes to compete him, because I read a lot of podcasts and I see a lot of videos. Vince McMahon doesn't like to get beat. He never gets beat. This is why I miss so much competition. Believe it or not, I was never a huge fan of WCW, but I do miss the Monday Night Wars because there was competition. You were basically in camps. You were either in WCW camp or you were in the WWF camp. And either camp that you wanted to go to, you weren't wrong. You were never wrong. But then when WWE basically had the Attitude Era, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, the Montreal Screwjob, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Kane, The Rock, Degeneration X. That's when WWF just basically just went up. They rose up, and WCW started sinking, sinking, sinking. Now, what does this have to do with the women's last man standing match? A lot of things, actually, because number one, it should have been the freaking main event. Two, look, nothing against Ronda Rousey or Nikki, even though I despise Nikki with a passion. Raw and Raw in general, they did not deserve to end the show. And while watching the end of Evolution, I can see why they did that when Ronda Rousey and all the women in the locker room just basically took a bow and whatnot. I can understand that. That's fine. But when you have a story, guys, that has been, it's over, it's over, it's over, it's over, it's over, it's over as all hell, you have fans cheering for the heel. Becky Lynch has done a phenomenal job in this heel turn. I really believe, like I said in SummerSlam, Charlotte should have been the heel. Should have went heel. She should have went heel, not Becky. But Becky has proven that she can actually do this. She can actually become this vindictive, like Edge sees every single opportunity. That type of heel. And the fans love it. They love Becky Lynch. I love Becky Lynch. This whole time, I did not want Charlotte to win that belt back. There was no. Like I said in the SummerSlam review, there was no reason for Charlotte to be in that match with Becky Lynch and Carmella. There was no reason for that. There was no reason. But anyway, like I said, it should have been the main event. I rambled on here about this quite enough. How does the match hold up? Match of the night. 5 stars. Good ass match. Great ending. Don't believe me? Rewatch the pay per view. It was a hell of a match. I think probably one of the best women's matches since Sasha versus Bailey. Yeah, that. It was, trust me, it was that damn good. I like every spot. I like how they paid tribute to ECW. If you remember when they threw chairs in the arena, there was kendo sticks, chairs, tables, ladders, and that spot where the figure eight on the ladder was genius. And also Becky Lynch piling all the equipment onto Charlotte, brilliant. Charlotte basically getting up from the rubble and giving that determined face, like, "Oh, you done it now." NXT, Joel, and Gaming with JT. I'm not ignoring your comments, dude. I'm just trying to get this through the point, trying to get this my point across. You have all that, and it was wow, guys. You just don't know. This match was freaking excellent. It was excellent. It was like the perfect. Well, yeah, I'm actually gonna go further. It was the perfect match. The perfect match. And I'm sorry. I may sound salty because I wish that was the main event, and I really do wish it was the main event. If that was the main event and how that would have ended, I would have been fine with it. I'm not saying that anything wrong with that, but Vince, sometimes you need to check your ego out the goddamn door. You really need to think, oh, SmackDown's not the superior show. You know what? Raw and SmackDown. Here's another thing, guys, and then we're gonna talk about the Raw main event, the actual main event. Well, the main event to the show. But I'm sorry. The last women's standing match, go rewatch it again. 5 star match. Should have been the main event. Trust me, it should have been the main event. But like I said, back to Raw and SmackDown. Raw, back from like what? Maybe from the Attitude Era. Not even from the Attitude Era, like from the beginning of the Ruthless Aggression Era. It was always the talking show. There was like more talking than there was wrestling. They still do a little bit today. A lot today. Sorry, not a little bit, but a lot today. SmackDown has always been the wrestling show. And I can get like some proof onto my theory. Go on YouTube. I want you to look up Paul Heyman SmackDown 6. I think it was Chris Jericho's podcast, and Paul Heyman and Jericho and Edge sat in a room and they talked about the SmackDown 6. If you remember the SmackDown 6, that contained Edge, Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and Chavo Guerrero. The SmackDown 6 back from 2002. Granted, there was main event stars. You had The Undertaker. You had The Rock, who was on his way out the door, because Hollywood. And you had Brock Lesnar. But still, you had that SmackDown 6. And even Jericho, I think there was a storyline. I remember this because it was happening in Indianapolis, Indiana. It was a steel cage match. It was Edge versus Chris Jericho. They were trying to put Edge over, and they succeeded. Kudos to Chris Jericho. Really great steel cage match. And then it ends off, I think the next 2 weeks or so, Jericho is on to Raw. Because Raw was actually losing in the ratings. Yeah, Raw back in 2002 was losing in the freaking ratings. It was losing in the ratings, guys. But I'm not gonna don't let me talk it out of it. Just watch the video. You will be pleasantly surprised on what Paul Heyman had to say about what SmackDown and Raw back from those times. So now, with that out the way, I already rated the women's standing match. I've rambled for about like a good maybe 10 minutes. So let me read the comments. Gaming with JT, you said TNA Impact is awesome. They've gotten better in the direction that they've been going. Uh, I think SmackDown is awesome. It is. I mean, sometimes they have bad nights. Sometimes they succeeded. Joel already answered that question with Sasha versus Bailey in NXT. Yes. 5-star match. It was awesome. And Joel, you said I give it a 4.7. There was some spotty moments in the match that could have been avoided, but all in all, the match was absolutely amazing. And it was. So now, let's get to the main event. Ronda Rousey versus Nikki freaking Bella. First off, other than the Bella Nation, who literally thought that Nikki was going to beat Ronda Rousey? Be honest. If you said Nikki was going to win, I'm not going to scream at you. I'm not going to snap on you. I'm just going to, I just want to know your reasoning. If you didn't think that Nikki was going to win, nobody and their mother, other than the Bella Nation, thought that. you, I'm so happy. And then they almost teased it when Nikki did that rack attack on Ronda. Thank God Ronda kicked out because, like I said before on my other video, my picks and predictions, I'm not one of those people who will unsubscribe because a certain person won. I think that's stupid. Two, if Nikki would have won, guys, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, Twitch, everything you can possibly imagine, everybody and their mother would go off. They will literally shit on the pay-per-view. Like, I mean, they will shit all over the pay-per-view. And, and I can just hear people like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna unsubscribe WWE. Oh, you just buried Ronda." WWE may be a lot of things, but I think they're smart enough to know that having Nikki beat Ronda was bad for business. Overall, what do I think about the match? The match was decent to okay. Decent to okay. It was. Not a main event worthy match, but according to WWE, Ronda draws money and Nikki Bella has that god awful show on the E Network. I think the best part of the match is when Ronda does that little Samoan corkscrew drop that she does to both Bellas and like got that arm bar locked in and just basically Nikki just taps. That was probably the best part of the match. And then Ronda wins. And of course, like maybe 2 minutes in, they show Nia Jax. They should have ended it with Nia Jax and Ronda going face to face, not fighting, but just, looking at each other face to face while all the women in the locker room basically come out there and, whatever. But they had Nia Jax on like watching backstage in the locker room and would do, just looking at Ronda. So basically, probably a Survivor Series is going to be Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax, and a lot of people don't want to see that match. Me, because we already seen it already. But here's my thing: I want to see it again because I actually liked it in Money in the Bank. The only thing I didn't like about it was how number one, Alexa Bliss winning the Money in the Bank. That should have never happened. That should have been Natty or Becky Lynch. But no, it got to be Raw. Raw is the #1 show. Vince, please let Shane run the company already. But yeah, I would love to see Ronda versus Nia Jax again, so that we can actually get an actual winner. I want to see that. And Gaming with JT said Nikki Bella didn't have a chance against Ronda Rousey. Ronda destroyed her, and she did. And I also hated the fact when Ronda went backstage and said it ain't over. I'm like, oh my God, no, 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 no. That's one match I definitely don't want to see again. But overall, like I said, it was an okay to decent match. So overall, WWE's first ever pay-per-view called Evolution was a very, very good show. Also, a little bit of points. I also love how they also interviewed from the women from the past and the present and future about how they felt about Evolution. I actually like that. I really like that. But overall, it is a pretty solid pay-per-view. Like I said earlier in the video, if you like the women, if you didn't like the show or didn't like the show, you have to admit that the women put on one hell of a show tonight. You gotta give them a standing ovation. They actually held their own tonight and proved that they can actually hold their own. So big ups to the women. I gotta give the women props tonight. They did it. The women's revolution. They did it. And will they do this again next year? Yeah, they probably will do this again next year, and I would love to see it. So let's see this one chat. Game of JT, I really want to see Nia Jax versus Ronda number 2. Yeah, I want to see it too. So if there's not any other questions, oh, how about this one, guys? Remember the How to Book series I have on this channel? Would you guys like a how I would have booked SmackDown 1000? I gave it a 5 out of 5 because it was very average and there were some people that were missing. Because I am literally in the works of making a SmackDown Live 1000 how to book. Gaming with JT would like it. I'm assuming Joel would like it too. Well, we got a little bit of time here. Is there anything else? How to book? And also Monday Night Raw. I've already said it before about the Roman Reigns thing. There is no coming back from SmackDown 1000. But yeah, Brother Joe, do you want me to book it like how I would have booked it? I think you would be surprised on how I would book SmackDown 1000. Or better yet, since we're live, do you guys want a little bit of a sneak preview of how I would do it? And I'm going to get to one spot on SmackDown Live. Yes, please, yes. Okay. Now Evolution. And I'm talking about the group now. And I'm talking about the group now. There was no need to have Ric Flair or Triple H there, and for them to tease that match between Triple H and Batista, I liked it, but it was unnecessary. Here's what I would do. Let's say, first off, sneak preview, SmackDown 1000 will be a 3-hour show. 3-hour show. And me being the booker, I would literally pay a hell of a lot of superstars. Since I'm a billionaire, I would pay people like Rikishi, The Rock, Booker T, Vicky Guerrero, Teddy Long, mostly everybody that made SmackDown. So here's what we'll do for the sneak preview. Evolution. First off, Evolution is not going to be on SmackDown 1000. Batista will, but not Ric Flair or Triple H. So we'll start off with, let's say, Randy Orton cuts a promo, comes into the ring, cuts a promo of all the things he's done on SmackDown. Like, for instance, like this, for 1,000 episodes here on SmackDown Live, nobody can ever record the candle of what I've had and brought to the table of SmackDown. I'm the guy that pushed Eddie Guerrero's lowrider with the Undertaker in the back and pushed it all the way through out of the arena and watched it explode right in front of me. I also said something about Eddie Guerrero to Rey Mysterio, saying, Eddie's not in heaven, Eddie's down there in hell. They will show basically Randy Orton just basically going through all his devious deeds on SmackDown, even burning Bray Wyatt's house. And then we get Batista comes out. And that crowd would pop hard because number one, Batista is advertised, and two, it's in his hometown of Washington, D.C. And also, sorry, since I got Batista in there, Randy Orton also talks about Crown Jewel, how he'll be called the best in the world, out of this, out of that. And then Batista coming out there, Batista saying, basically promoting everything and about the moments he had on SmackDown, and even going to the part like this about Randy saying, Randy, I remember you and I have a rivalry, and I remember damn near kicking your ass through all of it. And then Randy Orton basically just talks down to Batista, talks down to his hometown, still talks about Crown Jewel, while Batista makes a heartwarming promo, basically shutting Randy Orton up, just basically shutting him down for a minute, and then Batista say basically he says this. You know what? I've accomplished so much in WWE. I became World Heavyweight Champion, WWE Champion, World Tag Team Champion. I basically done it all in WWE except for one thing. And I always thought about a match. I always dreamed about a match. A match that the WWE Universe has never seen. So I'm also out here not only just to be here to talk about all the moments of SmackDown Live and for all the 1,000 episodes, but I'm also here to issue a challenge and issue a match with one man. And that man is Brock Lesnar. So basically, Batista not calling out Brock, well, not calling out Brock, but also basically hinting the fact that Batista wants to face off against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, because we never seen that match happen in WWE. Think about it. We've never seen that match happen. And then when Randy Orton basically cuts Batista off saying, well, Dave, that's all fine and good. You want to take on the Beast. Trust me, the Beast is no easy feat. I should know. He busted me in the head at SummerSlam. But since you had the audacity to come out on my time, I think it's time that I get to destroy another hero. And Randy Orton basically attacks Batista. And Randy Orton is attacking Batista, but Batista's starting to get the upper hand, basically fighting Randy and about to literally get up for a Batista bomb, but no. Randy Orton leaves the ring, but out of nowhere, here comes Ty Dillinger. Now, hear me out. Ty Dillinger wants some payback for what Randy Orton has done to him over the past on SmackDown. He throws Randy Orton back into the ring. Randy Orton looks at Ty Dillinger, and Ty Dillinger just points at Batista, points it to the ring because Batista's still in the ring. Randy Orton just looks behind him slowly, comes up to Batista, and Randy Orton gets spine busted, and also he gets a Batista bomb. Also, Ty Dillinger comes back into the ring and asks Batista to Batista bomb Randy Orton one more time. Batista does it, and the fans even count one more time, one more time. They chant it, and out of nowhere, Batista bombs Randy Orton, and Ty Dillinger does this to Batista. He said this, I give that Batista bomb a perfect 10. That would be cool. I would like to see that. First off, you get Ty Dillinger. You start to get like him into a feud with Randy Orton to continue their feud, probably all the way to Survivor Series. Like or Survivor Series, or hell, better yet, TLC. So you can push up a superstar level of Ty Dillinger, because they really haven't done anything. The only thing he's been relevant on was a U.S. title a U.S. title shot, and also his feud with Orton that they never really resolved. So Ty Dillinger gets his payback on Randy Orton. Batista basically teases us a match between the Animal versus the Beast at WrestleMania, and you have Randy Orton basically get Batista bomb not once but twice. So there's your little sneak preview. So guys, did you like that? Or did you want to do something different? Let me know in the chat while I read some. Joel said, sidebar, that tournament at Crown Jewel is set up for CM Punk. You could really tell on SmackDown when the fans chanting his name, and Shane was like, I don't think he'll be there. Yeah, that was kind of funny a little bit and messed up too. Gaming with JT saying we never seen Triple H and Batista. We have seen Triple H and Batista at WrestleMania. WrestleMania, I think it was 21. Was it 20? Yeah, WrestleMania 21. I have never seen Batista versus Brock Lesnar. That would be a hell of a match right there at WrestleMania. So, what about it, chat? Did you like that type of booking? Did you like that? Do you even want a little bit more? In that spot where Batista and Orton and Ty Dillinger would be like the beginning of the mid to the second half of the show. So basically in the 2 hour mark. Or matter of fact, probably in the hour mark. Like it's hit it at like 7:50 and it goes on to like 8 o'clock or 8:10. Basically like a 20-minute segment. Or do you guys want to have another sneak preview on how I would have ended SmackDown Live? 1000, that is. Gaming with JT said yes, yes. And Brother Joel, I know you're got in your Booker T voice. Book it, I believe. I think you guys will like this. Yeah, I can see that happening, except in a way, putting a stamp on Jeff Hardy and Randy's rivalry. Yeah, I want to put a stamp on that for now. To be honest, I really didn't think having Jeff Hardy come back after face first on a table. I really think he should have came back probably at the Rumble. But anyway, you said book it. Okay, here's the ending. Here's the ending. Now, earlier, another sneak preview. Earlier in the night, oh yeah, by the way, that Truth TV segment, we're not going to have that happen. We're not going to have that happen. So basically, Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and Vince McMahon all through the night and evening have been trying to find out who it was the greatest SmackDown superstar ever. They were going to give out an award for the best SmackDown superstar ever. Vince McMahon comes out to the ring, Shane comes out to the ring, and Stephanie. All three McMahons. So, they start to, have a little bit of the argument. Of course, Vince has to play to the crowd because, Vince is a good heel and he can do heelish things. We've seen it in the past. And Stephanie, the same way, she's doing heelish things, and we've seen her do heelish things in the past. And Shane is still a babyface. Now, when Vince has the envelope in his hand, he said, the greatest superstar of all time is none other than me, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Vince McMahon awards himself as the greatest SmackDown superstar ever. And then Shane McMahon looks at Vince and says, really? He said, really? So you had me and Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie has a smile on her face. She's actually applauding her father. Shane is looking and saying, really? You have me and Stephanie all through the night talking to superstars from the past. So you mean to tell me people like The Undertaker is not deserving? Booker T, not deserving. Rey Mysterio, not deserving. Eddie Guerrero, not deserving. Chris Jericho, not deserving. They went all through the night. Vince, I said this. You said this. I know that, Dad, you are an ego-driven maniac, but this here has to be your lowest. It has to be your lowest. And then Vince McMahon basically belittling Shane, saying, "Oh, Shane, you're too small-minded. Like this, I'm the one who created SmackDown. If it wasn't for me, there wouldn't you all of you people wouldn't even have a seat tonight. You probably all would be at your live doing something boring." And then the lights go. And then basically McMahon's are basically arguing amongst each other. Shane is arguing with Stephanie and Vince, but then the lights go out. The lights go out. And out of nowhere, we hear this. If you smell what the Rock is cooking, the Rock music hits, that crowd in DC will pop so freaking hard because number one, The Rock was not really advertised to be there. So number one, no spoilers there. The internet doesn't spoil it. The Rock comes ramming to the ring. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. So The Rock comes out there and basically said, "Finally, The Rock has come back to Washington, D.C." Stephanie is shocked. Vince is shocked. Even Shane is shocked. And then The Rock said this. The Rock just heard. He couldn't help but to hear all three of your monkey asses basically going all through the night trying to find out who is the greatest SmackDown superstar of all time. Well, you can't have a SmackDown 1000 episode with having the jabroni beating, pie eating, most electrifying man in sports and entertainment today, the Rock. So basically, Vince McMahon basically is shocked. He is surprised that The Rock is there. Stephanie is surprised that The Rock is there. And then The Rock basically does his many catchphrases. He burns Vince McMahon hard. He even burns Stephanie hard. He even burns Shane a little hard. And then he said this, you know what? The Rock always has a plan. He always like to make the people happy. That's my job. I have to make the people happy. I gotta make the people happy. So basically, Vince McMahon knows where he's going, where The Rock's going with this. He knows that The Rock is gonna rock bottom him, and he basically from like Raw 25, when Vince said, "I'm older now," and The Rock basically making jokes and whatnot, saying, "Vince, you actually think I came here to rock bottom you and Shane?" No, 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 not really. I didn't come here to mess with you. Then out of nowhere, The Rock bottom Shane McMahon. He rock bottoms Shane. And then he rock bottoms Vince McMahon into the middle of the ring. Then Stephanie McMahon basically gets to a microphone and says, "Who in the hell do you think you are, Rock? Rock bottoming my brother. Rock bottoming my father. Who the hell do you think you are, Rocky?" And then basically Stephanie McMahon does the one thing. Of course, The Rock does his many catchphrases to Stephanie McMahon. And then, of course, The Rock says something very, very, rockish. And basically it triggers Stephanie. And Stephanie slaps the taste out of The Rock's mouth. And then Stephanie said, like, "Rock, what are you going to do? You can't hurt a woman." And then The Rock said this, "You're right. The Rock can't hurt a woman, cannot hit a woman. But you know what? That slap reminded me, though. That slap really didn't hurt Stephanie." And then Stephanie looked like she's about to slap The Rock again, saying basically, "Oh, you don't think it hurts? I'll make sure this next one hurts." But then The Rock stops her and basically says this to Steph. "You know what? There's only one person in your family who hits harder than Shane, Vince, and yourself." And Stephanie says, "Who is that?" "Your husband, bitch." And then The Rock bottom Stephanie McMahon. So yes, all three McMahons get rock bottom. But Stephanie is also in the middle of the ring. So is Vince. The Rock basically takes off his shirt. And of course, he doesn't have his elbow pads here. He takes off his shirt and basically throws it to the crowd. And of course, he double people's elbows. Vince McMahon and Stephanie McMahon. So here's another hitter fact at WrestleMania because they've never had a real ending to their match into their feud, The Rock versus Triple H, for next year's WrestleMania. That happens. The Rock basically says, grabs a mic and basically says this. You know what? Where is that envelope? The greatest superstar is not The Rock. It's not Eddie Guerrero. It's not Chris Ben. It's not Chris Jericho. It's not Benoit. Basically all the superstars that they named earlier. The real superstars and the real of the year is all of you, the people. Because if it wasn't for the people, we would not be here today. We will not have SmackDown. And then The Rock basically does more like, giving the people what they want, granting the people, thanking the people. If it wasn't for that, there wouldn't be no SmackDown. And then it ends off with The Rock saying, "If you smell what The Rock is cooking," the his music hits, and basically SmackDown ends with The Rock basically triumphant. All three McMahons are rock bottomed, and basically we tease a match for The Rock and Triple H for next year's WrestleMania. So there's how I would have ended SmackDown Live 1000. So what do you guys think? Sorry, that's a mouthful, but seriously, this is what you're going to get a sneak preview of when I do my how to book live edition of SmackDown 1000. I think you guys would enjoy the Batista part, and I hope you guys enjoyed The Rock, the ending segment of SmackDown Live 1000. So in the chat, let me know. Was it great? Would you have loved to see that? Or you would have did something different. So right now, let me look at Joel, and he said, "I know I'm going to piss you off with this, but I would have kept the titles on the New Day for the night and taken it off of them next week." No, that wouldn't take me off. I would have did something different with the New Day, and all on that next video. You probably will be surprised. So guys, so we just done the pay-per-view. Rock part would be great, but they won't allow that to happen to Steph. Stephanie can take a bump. She can take a huge rock bottom. The Rock won't hurt Steph. Well, she'll hurt him, but like make it not soft, but like Steph can do it. It's SmackDown 1000. They'll do it. Or there's also one more little spoiler I can do for SmackDown Live 1000. Unless you want to hear that, this involves Stephanie McMahon and it involves another superstar. Or you guys just want to wait until SmackDown the video comes out. Gaming with JT said you love it. That was awesome. With the Rock part, yes. That would be an awesome spot if they did that. That's what should have happened on SmackDown Live 1000. Okay, we've been live for like an hour and 3 minutes. But like I said, I gave you guys Batista and I gave you guys The Rock. Split up the New Day. You might be surprised. Joel, you said yes, she can take bumps, but they aren't going to let that happen, especially after what happened with Randy and at WrestleMania with Triple H versus Seth. I mean, if Steph is willing to take that bump, she'll do it. If it's something to entertain, she'll do it. And knowing Vince, he'll do it because Vince has done so many dastardly things to his children on national TV, it's not even funny. So yeah, guys, so you got two little sneak previews. Do you guys want to be spoiled kids and want one more? But Steph isn't entertaining. Yeah, she's not entertaining. Well, now she's not, but because that goddamn voice. But yeah, her getting rock bottom is entertaining. So yeah, guys, You guys want to be spoiled kids, and Mr. Malguli gives you one more little spoiler? Or do you guys want to wait till SmackDown 1000 and I end the live chat here? I think it's time to split up the New Day. I mean, come on, that's all I'm thinking. If you're thinking of the New Day, I'm still thinking I can't be spoiled. I need that video. Okay. So do you guys want this video tomorrow in the afternoon? Because I will literally be up here tomorrow and do my damnedest to give you guys the SmackDown Live 1000 video. So you got two spoilers. You had one from Batista and you had one from The Rock. And how I will do this, I will go from the first hour, I'll go to the second hour, and then I'll go to the third hour. So the Batista is from the middle to the ending of the first to the beginning of the second hour. The Rock segment is the ending segment of the show. And there's also, matter of fact, no, we'll do the Batista and Orton to the beginning of the second half of the show, like like the second hour, the beginning of the second hour. The first hour, you guys might like this one if Vince would play ball, but since I'm the booker, I'm using Vince's money. I would spend it on for one superstar that made a lot of SmackDown moments. And also, we will have matches. I would think I will have a total of maybe 5 matches and one title on the line. So it seems like you guys don't want to be spoiled. So I'm going to end the video right here. So thank you all for watching my WWE live review, and also a little sneak preview of my SmackDown Live 1000. Remember, tomorrow, guys, around afternoon, I would say maybe 12 or 1 o'clock, I will be up here live to do a SmackDown Live how I would have booked it, how to book. I think this will be episode maybe 5 or 6, I believe, on this channel. So until next time, I'm Al Gulli. I want to thank everybody from the chat, from Jennifer to Joel. No, wait, not Jennifer. I'm trying to. Where is she at? Yeah, from Jessica, Gaming with JT, and Joel. And I want to thank all you guys for participating, liking, and everything else. You guys are in the books. If I were booking, I would have even had a Hargy segment. Oh, you just wait, Joel. Wait till tomorrow. So until next time, I will see you guys tomorrow for SmackDown Live 1000. How to book live. It will be live, guys. It will be live. So until next time, I am Mal Gulli. I will catch you all again next time with this good wrestling, and God bless you all.